My sense is that there's a lot that seems to be working well with the UK-US trade relationship, according to both sides. The big risk for the UK is making sure that we don't get into a triangulation dynamic with the EU.
The UK and the US have already the largest investment relationship in the world. The fundamentals are not going to change in the short term, but we have to think about how does it look like in 5, 10 or 15 years, and that's what the UK needs to prepare for.
From the US point of view, the relationship with the United Kingdom, of course, is very important, both from an investment point of view as well as in terms of services trade. There isn't any real reason why the US should pick a fight with the UK in trade terms. Whether it does, however, is still an open question.
In these difficult and uncertain times, it pays to stick to your principles and to work from first principles, which in this case is that the gains from trade for the UK are still there, regardless of what the US does. The UK has the advantage that its trade structure is dominated by services, and one of the many things you can say about services is that they cannot be tariffed. In these turbulent times for goods trade, it should examine ways of stimulating its services trade, including with the US, which is the biggest importer of services.
The key isn't to simply only focus on sort of arming yourself to be able to withstand economic statecraft, but in terms of thinking about how to sort of keep calm and carry on, is to focus on supply diversification, on innovation, on being able to try to focus what we do best in terms of services and innovation and research and development, and to think about where can we then use that and build other supply chains to allow the world to not be in a place where it is concerned about the resilience or sustainability of its supply chains based on questions of extreme weather events or pandemic or geopolitics.
It's important to remember that trade policy uncertainty itself inhibits trade, and more so even than the actual imposition of trade policy. So I think it's important for the UK to stand its ground and to not respond to every provocation by the US president, because all that does is add uncertainty on the UK side.
For the UK is, of course, it's mainly about avoiding useless friction and starting to think long-term about what the Trump administration means for the bilateral relationship, but also for the UK's place in the regional and global trading system.
The UK has strong interests in US trade, but they're not overwhelming. In any bargain, it's important to go in talking about what you want and what you think you can achieve, and what you already have and that you don't want to lose.
For the UK going to the US, the top priority should be not to tear up the multilateral system rule book. In fact, I'd probably go further than that and say, don't even tear out any pages.
I really believe that the other 164 members of the WTO, and indeed every other trading nation, should carry on trading normally among themselves as well as they can, even if Trump doesn't want to play ball.
For US and UK trade policy makers, I think they should be looking for areas where they can work together. My suggestion is we work towards small deals where we have common interests and try to get a job done.